Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Poly by Nations, episode 4B, with your hosts, Miss Polly and M3. Salutes, everyone. What's up, Miss Polly? How you doing?
I am good today. I'm good today. How are
That's
you?
good. I'm doing well myself. So just enjoying this time with you, and I want to know what's gonna be the word for tonight, Miss Polly. The people want to know what is Poly by Nations episode 4-3 going to be about.
Yes. So this time we're kind of starting moving towards just talking more about different countries because what we've been doing in the beginning now, as you know, kind of just talking about my personal journey and kind of introducing people to safety with going out of country as a man and a woman, and then we started talking about particular things you should investigate when you're talking to someone who is outside of the US, like languages, their culture, their background, religion, all those things. And now we're kind of moving to the second phase of it. Is really I want us to start kind of talking about different nations and how they poly. What does it look like in the current state uh, of the world right now, and learn a little bit about countries. So what we did was we did an interview with Passport Bro, because that's been a hot topic also. But I wanted to look at it in a different view. Three, I wanted us to not talk about Passport Bro topics, but kind of talk about what is it like in other countries, and let people kind of find out what's there. And Passport Bro, a lot of Passport Bros do have experience in other countries, and they can kind of tell you what they see in the current state right now. And since I can't just hop on a plane every 3 seconds, you guys want to find out about a place. Well, what better way than to reach out to people who are actually in those locations, or who are visiting those locations. So I had some interviews set up, but our last one was Andre Spitz. Okay. If you guys don't know, he has a series called Love. Oh, wait, on, sorry. Finding Love Boundaries. Oh Lord, see, I'm gonna get on mess. He's gonna be mad at me
Uh
because
oh.
it's bad because I forget, and that's not my fault. You guys cannot hold me responsible for being very tired. But Love Beyond Boundaries. So our borders, sorry, borders. And so if you guys watch the video, it has his link and everything there. And basically, he and his wife, she is Colombian, and they have their own YouTube channel. And he does talk about traveling and what the difference is. And so when
Mhm.
we did our interview, we got to kind of have a conversation, and then we talked about the poly world over there too, and a little bit about that. So it was a good conversation. Good
Mm.
conversation.
Okay,
Mhm.
I knew the guy looked familiar, but because I'm so used to seeing both together, him and his wife, so Andre Spitz his name, right? Okay.
Yes, yes,
I can't remember his wife's name, but I remember she's a Colombian woman.
yes.
What's her name?
Andrea.
An-
Andrea.
so it's Andre and Andrea.
Yes. That was
Wow.
so cute.
Okay. Okay. So we have a Andre. All right.
Yes.
Andrea.
Yes,
See,
yes,
that's
yes.
how you know that had to be something like love at first sight, or close names or something. Hey, my name is
Right.
Andre. My name is Andrea. You know what I mean? Like, okay. And then I'm for sure if they have kids, they're gonna have to try to match the name somehow. You know.
Oh man. And it's really awesome to see someone from another location kind of talk about, just really bonding with a different culture. And that was pretty cool. So I did want you to, which I forgot to tell you ahead of time, which is my bad, is that I know we did it on my channel,
Hmm.
and we did the interview, and there were some points there that I wanted to talk about in this one that we spoke about. So one of the one things that we talked about was um, how the culture is a lot different when it comes to family and things like that. And so we were talking about how women there, when you go there, obviously when you go there, and let's say you're going on a trip, whatever. When you go there and you approach a young lady, it's going to be kind of the same as if you're here. But he was kind of explaining that when you kind of serious about a person, you meet their family. I and
Mm-hmm.
here, if you think about it, most of us don't even meet some of our boyfriends and girlfriends' parents until like a year. That's not going to be the norm, for someone in these other countries where they see their family like every day, every other day.
Mm-hmm.
Weekends are always some kind of gathering. So we talked about gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
In Colombia, we also talked about economics also is a little bit different. So, people here, a lot of us, we think about, oh gosh, what's going to happen when I get retirement age? Is there even going to be any retirement for me? Or do I have to work until I'm 70 to actually retire? And even he was saying, you go to these other countries and you invest in some businesses here or things like that. You could have a place to go to as an option if if you're at retirement age and you don't want to stay in the United States and have to continue to pay the amount you're paying, or if you get your Social Security and it's like maybe let's just put it out there $800 a month or something like that, just something heck crazy. If that is the case, you could live off that in another country, and live well. So
Mm-hmm.
those are some of the things we kind of touched on. When you get in that situation, you could also appear. I know that sounds like, but if you go somewhere where things aren't as expensive, the mindset's a little bit different. Um, you could have a better life there, if you wanted to. Which and I've heard somebody say the argument
Okay.
M3 of, oh well, that's why people go there. They want to look like a baller, and they're not a baller here. And I will say I have a little rebuttal for that. That's what a lot of people do when they go to Cancun. That's right across the way. And it's because you can live like a king in Jamaica, Cancun. You can live like a king. You can rent out a mansion and you're not paying $1,200. Oh, that's a lot of the the reasons why we go to these other places. So when he said that, I didn't think of it as, oh, a bad thing. I thought, well, that is one of the reasons why some people go to these countries so that their dollar goes further.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I believe. Like I believe that as a real responsible man who travels, if you're and most likely you may have to be the type of person that works in the tech field. Shout outs to the international passport for that type of advice because you want to work in the area where I think it's in remotely, so that way like you can work at home, but then you can also travel. You can also live out there and still get paid like the same amount of the U.S. dollars.
Mm-hmm.
But with the U.S. dollars that you're getting paid, you're using that money right to pretty much to stretch things out. So for what we spend for like a house, maybe the average will be at least like 500 to like 600,000. But maybe over in other countries, which I have not really did my due diligence to do research on how much that people spend just to get a house out there. But from what I hear from other people, they say usually it's cheap. So I'm gonna pay 10,000 for a house. $100,000 could get you like a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Right.
what I heard from other people. You know.
And if you've ever worked, see, I worked in restaurant business also. If you ever worked in those situations, it's not unheard of to meet Mexicans. They're usually really good in the kitchen. They do very, very well, and they get
Mm-hmm.
paid very, very well. And um, I've heard of. I mean, I've seen it where there's been kitchen staff who make $22 an hour, easy. They'll put in like 10 years at a restaurant. They'll make their money and they go on vacation. They go home for like mm, 4 or
Mm-hmm.
5 months. They take a
Mm-hmm.
vacation, they go on vacation, and they go back home. and they do what they do there. And I've met someone, a couple people who are Mexican, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna go retire in like 2 years." And I was like, "In 2 years?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dude, you're like 43 or something." They're like, "Yeah." They're like, "I have a ranch," and they're showing me pictures of the ranch and their animals. Like, "Yeah, I got like this property and this property." And they're like, "Yeah, when I go home, I use my money and I take care of my family." So that's why a lot of times, you'll see Mexican men here and they don't have their wives. Their wives are back home. They're like, "Yeah, just send money home. And she can stay home. She doesn't have to work. And the money I make here can really pay for her to live a very good life. And then when I'm done working here after so much time, I can go home and retire and live with my children, enjoy my grandchildren." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And he's like, "Yeah, and while I'm here, we just all kind of, what they'll do is they'll get a group of gentlemen or whatever, other family members, and they'll all live in a house, split the rent. And they're only paying, a little bit each. And then they have a lot of, extra funds, and they send what they send home. And then, I mean, they live here and through the year, and then they leave for 3 4 months. A lot of and then they'll get their
Mm-hmm.
cousin or something to come up here and work during that time. And I'm serious, they'll have their cousin come work the time. They're gone for 3 months, and then they'll swap. I've seen it, and you're like, "What in the world?" Look at that. They have a plan and it works, and then everyone can get to the place where they own a piece of land. It's not like they want to. It's not like Americans, where like it's like it for Americans. It feels like it's never enough. They never have enough. Like some people are like, "Oh, it's just me and my husband, and we live in a 5 bedroom house," and I'm like, "What are you doing in all that room? Like, do your grandkids live here already?" "Oh no, they have their own house." For people who are like, "Hey, I just want a piece of property so I can enjoy some time, have an extra bedroom or two," like they don't want to live so far above their means. They just want to live comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
And in that mindset, yeah, they could do that. If all you do is get a really, a nice little house, you got your car, or maybe even two cars, you got some land, and you're chilling, enjoying your family, and you can go out to eat and do those things. You don't really need too much more. And they live very simply, but they enjoy each other. And I think that's where Americans and other places kind of differ. And that's what I want to kind of show too when we do this series too, is that there's different cultures that enjoy things that aren't always money based. You know, they get what they need, some things they want, and they just enjoy it. That's it. There's an
Yeah.
end to the race for them. It's not like you keep going and going and going and just stacking money for no purpose, and they are fine with just the simplest thing. So that's kind of cool.
It is like, so I have a nephew and a niece who plans to go to was it? It's Oklahoma, because like Oklahoma is pretty cheap out there. The cost of living is pretty reasonable. So for whatever they earn or whatever they have saved up, they could use that money to buy themselves like a ranch, get the farm, like live in a farm life, and keep things simple. A lot of times we tend to stress out because we think the more money we have, the better our lifestyle would be. But it's not about how much money you're making. It's about how well are you utilizing the funds that you have. Most Americans are in debt,
Mhm.
and people like, and I'm in debt too. But people like us, we keep being consumers. We keep spending as
Mhm.
opposed to taking times off from spending, delayed gratification. Okay, so or learn how to put some money to the side to invest, and that way, you could be able to like get the things that you want to buy in the near future. We don't think about lifetime goals. We just think about, let's try to get something quick and easy like right now.
Yeah, instant
I,
gratification.
I'm gonna get a little bit in the money talk real quick, just for a split second, okay? Not to derail the conversation. So today, like I was in, like I have an investment. It's a short term investment. It's like in options. I'm trading something that will expire within a month, and right now the market's crazy. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, and man, there was the stock that, as opposed to putting things for a month, the stock is a little bit expensive. So it's like, if I wanted to do a week type of option play, um, then I would have to sell whatever I had and try to get something quick. Now, although I could have made a little profit,
Mm-hmm.
but however, I'm thinking about the long term goal. Now, I don't know how long I could be patient for, but my hope is that, look, if it could go up by a few more dollars or something, that would be like some extra money that I earn as opposed to the little money that I'm losing. Now, the reason why I'm putting in that terms is because a lot of times we'll be quick to spend $600 on maybe a gaming system or $600 worth of pair of shoes or sneakers and all that, but we don't really think about invested into something that could probably grow in the long term and grant us the things that we need or the things that we want. So, people got to focus on, in my opinion, living a simple life. Because I think the more simpler your life could get, the more happy you'll be, in my opinion.
Right. I do think that's true. I think you said it's just like they're never satisfied, or people aren't ever really satisfied. And even when they get to certain goals, and I'm not saying don't reach for particular goals and keep going to get more. I think a lot of times it's just like this endless race that you're always trying to get more, and you just never just like, I'm okay, I'm in a good place, and just enjoying that good place. So definitely these are options when you can go out of country, to different places, and especially if they have a different value system, and kind of enjoy it. And a lot of times you won't even find that in European countries. You won't really find that there. They're going to be more Americanized. So you're going to see a lot more Americanized ways. So yeah, some of these
Mhm.
other countries who are their values aren't European, you're gonna actually see that more family oriented style. And you don't really see that, like I said, with the European places. So yeah, yeah, that's what I want to venture. But absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So, Miss Polly, I want to go back because, like, on your show, you invited like Andre to be
Yes.
a part of it, from Andre and Andrea, but Beyond the Borders, shouts to them. But okay, so how were you? So how did you meet Andre, and how you was able to reach out to him?
Yes. So I met Andre. We actually were on Gin on the Block,
Mm-hmm.
her live. We were on her live together. I mean, we were on her live together. And I knew he was talking about Passport Bros. This is when Passport Bros is live. So I did notice
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, and now I will tell you, I think he noticed me before I noticed him. So
Okay.
the reason why I'll say that is because what I was not aware of, was that he had actually been in the lifestyle. We talk about that. So like there's poly, and we call it poly world or whatever, poly world, and then lifestylers. But he used to be a lifestyler. So when he initially went to Colombia, it was to kind of check out the lifestyle energy in another country. So I didn't know that. So I think he kind of noticed me first because of my name. And then maybe he had checked out my content or whatever. But I mean, he didn't reach out to me, but I think he just noticed what the content, or maybe he looked later. But so when I saw him there, and then later on I saw him on King and Dreams live
Mm-hmm.
also. And then when I thought of, this series, I said, well, we're getting to the point where I would like us to journey out to find out about different countries a little bit more. I reached out to him first because I knew he was a big advocate of Colombia and things like that. So I definitely reached out to him and through Instagram or whatever. And yeah, he just got back to me. So he had told me he had seen my content, and then it was just funny that I didn't know his history before that. So when I conversed with him, he said, "Yeah, I like your you like your content." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And usually you would think that someone, a lot of passport bros are red pillish. So a lot of red pillish men probably would not like my content. But the fact that he said that, it kind of was like, wait a minute. And I was like, and then he actually started telling me about the lifestyles in Colombia. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was surprised. I was surprised. Oh, dang, okay, I got you. So that was interesting. Yeah. So like I said, a lot of people who are in lifestyles and poly. I mean, we're normal. We just don't, like, some people don't advertise it, and it's reason not to. But then, he's not in lifestyles anymore. He's obviously married, but when he went down there initially, it was to get, kind of get into the vibe of Colombia's lifestyle, parties and things like that. And then he met his wife, and then he just now is monogamous. So that was very interesting. So yeah, he got to talk about that on the interview. I hope you guys take time to look at it, because yeah, he definitely got a chance to talk to me about what it is. And I love talking to people who are poly and lifestylers, even though I'm not a lifestyler. The idea that we are on the same mind when it comes to being able to interact with more than one partner at the same time, that's pretty awesome. And when I get those conversations, it's nice, because I usually talk to monogamous people all day. So, so it's nice for someone to be like, yeah, I understand what's going on. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So you talked about that a little bit. And so now you guys know there is a lifestyle in Colombia, obviously. And those kind of locations, as he was telling me, is, a lot of things are not taboo there in other countries too. So it's not taboo to see people with more than one partner, or in the lifestyle parties or things like that. It's not weird to them. And we were talking about how 83% of the world is actually poly. It's probably more now. So or some kind of polyish. So for people to see you go up to someone and say, "Oh, I have 2 wives," they'll be like, "Oh, okay." That's the conversation. It's not like, "What? What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Who are they?" Like, it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't feel so weird. Like, okay, that's cool.
So then, does that make you want to travel out to Colombia then? Seems like Colombia is like a #1 spot for most passport brothers and sisters, I guess.
Yeah, Colombia, Thailand is really big. So we're actually, so the next one we're gonna do, I forgot. So the next one interview I'm gonna do, it's gonna be with another passport bro. So I'm gonna run through the passport bros. No, that sounded bad. No.
It's okay. Run it how you run it.
No, I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm going to stay with the group that travels, that I obviously can, connect with people by saying, "Hey, can you tell them that I'm interested in finding out about this place, this place, this place?" And I can easily get that interview. So the next person I'm going to have, I'm going to try to contact them. I don't even want to say who it is because I don't want it to mess up. And we're going to do another location. So I know there's a trip there. The Passport Bros, they have a gathering that's supposed to come soon. And it's going to be in Thailand. I'm going to try to get us to get some interviews from Thailand and possibly Brazil. So these are the 2 the two places I would like to us to talk to someone who's been there and tell us a little bit about the life there and the people there, and obviously a little bit about if there's a poly lifestyle there, which you're probably going to hear about. And that's what makes it kind of cool. So I can combine both. So you can hear about the other locations, what it's like for men to go there or women to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even what the beauty standards are or whatnot. We're just gonna kind of dive into that culture, and then we're gonna give that to you guys. So it'll be kind of cool. Y'all can learn about a different place. Um, Hopefully, I'm trying to do it like every week or every other week or whatever, and we'll try to get that, consistent. That's my
Mm-hmm.
goal.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
do what do what you have to do, because here's the thing. You're doing a good service, right? By exploring through other cultures and letting the world see that, hey, poly is just not only in the United States, but it's everywhere. But it just depends on like the people that you surround yourself with that actually be more open into the poly lifestyle, or have an open mind to learn about all things that's poly.
absolutely. And just take a different view on it. I know a lot of people see it as, like this big taboo or whatnot. It's very sexual. I mean, but that just makes sense. You would probably have more sexual interactions when you have more partners. It just makes sense, but not necessarily all the time either. That actually doesn't. It actually doesn't work out that way. I noticed. But it doesn't. We're not all like trying to grope each other. It just because we have two boyfriends, like our two girlfriends. We're not like trying to get on everybody. But obviously, there are some things like lifestylers. You go a lifestyle party. Usually, when you walk in the party, you know, you know what they're doing. But in the same breath, I'm saying that is there's lifestyle parties where there's poly people there because they can enjoy all their partners in a safe, fun place, but they also don't have to participate with people that they're not partnered with. Or they might be voyeurs, just exhibitionists, voyeurs, a lot of fetish people like to go to these things. So this is a place where you just be you in whatever that is. And then usually people are very, very polite when it comes to asking, and they really do. If just be clear about your boundaries. Like, hey, listen, I'm poly, I'm not a lifestyler, and usually don't have any issue. I'm saying I'm poly and I'm not a lifestyler, so I'm not interested in that. Um, and people just know what that means. So these places aren't like all crazy and chaotic. Actually quite organized, but it just looks like they're having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. Well, M3, if you've ever been to a club in like Florida, I'm from there. I'll say that some of these nightclubs in Orlando, people getting having one night stands on the dance floor
Damn.
and do not care. And I'm saying, what's the difference between that and you going to a lifestyle party and everyone's there and they probably have protection and they're taking precautions and they're being safe about a situation. Then you just go into a nightclub and you seeing one guy, run through 4 or 5 girls on the dance floor, and he ain't got no protection. He ain't worried about you or never see you again. He don't even live in the same state, don't care. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know, go ahead.
Yeah. It's like, because think about it like this: if you have 3 or 4 one night stands, even though those people are not in the same room or they're not going home with you at the same time, you're still hooking up with multiple people. If you have a
Yeah.
rotation, it's almost the same equivalent to the poly life. I think what most people look at, like when they hear like a person who's into a poly lifestyle, is that you're having those same 4 or 5 women in your bedroom at the same time. And I think that's where it gets more glorified, because in the mainstream, it's like, oh yes, I would love to have orgies like with all these different women. It's a
Lord.
thing, right? Um, you know, before my wife, okay, I was, and this wasn't like a committed relationship. It's more, this was a friendship. At that time, we didn't really believe in friend zones or whatever. Or if we were in the friend zone would mostly benefit for us. It was a good thing. But we don't call it friend zones. We used to call it friends with benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it that term because if anyone asks, well, you know, have you ever had a girlfriend or before your wife or whatever, I could be like, well, I had two somewhat type of girlfriends, but they wasn't really like girlfriends like that. But the other rest were more like I had a lot of friends with benefits, you know. So I don't even consider them to be my girlfriends. You know what I mean? Like my true girlfriend was my wife today. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's because like that was the first woman that actually decided to make that commitment to her. Everyone else was more of like they were my friends, but they gave me certain benefits whenever I needed it. Hell, there
Right.
was two girls where one was well probably still is like a lesbian, and the other one was just more free spirited. And you know, let's just say like both of them needed some sexual healing. I would say at the same time. So and that was like one of like the best like sleepovers ever. Imagine you be for a guy. Imagine you being between two women. Okay, so that experience I will never forget because it was just simple and fun.
Mm.
But the reason why I'm bringing that part up is because the same way how we could be the same ones that would judge and be like, oh my gosh, like you dating multiple women or you dating multiple men. Damn, you're a hoe. You disgust me, right? Respectfully. Well, it's the same thing when you used to have friends with benefits.
Right.
A lot of people in this YouTube space, they took that. It's like they took that notion away, and then they corrupted it with their friend zone to the point that guys don't even want to be friends with a woman if it doesn't benefit for them sexually. But I
That's true.
lived in a different era. I'm like,
You're
look,
right.
I don't want you to be my girlfriend. I want you to be my best friend. And whenever I need you to give up those draws, be there for me. But I had other crazy stories where, like, when I didn't want to give up my own draws, um, you know, some people will, let's just say, um, will do the extreme to try to get you high. But that's another story.
Oh, wait a minute.
Shouts to the green brownies for my ignorant
Oh
stuff, not
no.
known.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, because in the same breath, I think it's okay. So one of the things that I find hilarious. So my partners usually, when I don't know, they go through phases. Okay, so sometimes it's just like, yeah, that's my girlfriend, whatever. And then other women, they'll be like, oh, okay. Women will try to like have sex with them. Like they'll be like, oh, I just want to have sex with you. And they're like, oh, and then he'll be like, well, I'm poly. Like, do you want to get to know me or something? Like, do you like me? And then they'll be like, oh, I'm not down with that, but I can still have sex with you. And I'm like, so, like, because that's wrong because you have a girlfriend. And I get confused. So it's wrong to try to be in a situation where everyone knows what's going on. We're being safe. We're communicating without taking in place. But you rather sneak around and
Mm,
pretend. And that is weird to me that women are down for this. And I thought maybe it was just one time. No, it's a reoccurring thing all the time. It's constant. And
mm,
it's like, why are these women being okay with being a mistress, basically a mistress. They're like, I don't want them to know, but I'll still mess with you. Um, but I don't want to be down with any poly stuff. And I'm like, so you're not down with being poly, and they'll even say like, well, she doesn't really, she's not into women like that. and they'll still be like, well, no, she can't know. I'm like, who wants to be a homewrecker on purpose? Like, that's weird.
It's a couple of factors.
Okay.
It could be like an ego thing, especially the woman don't really. If let's say if two women have bad blood, now they may not even care about the man like that, but that one will do whatever it takes to pretty much take well do whatever it takes to pretty much put herself out there to wreck the relationship just so she got the satisfaction to say in her ego, hey, I'm so fine, I could break up happy homes.
Mm.
That's one.
Mm.
But number two, women they like the thrill. They like the chase. Like they like to be in that type of situation where it gives them a dopamine in their emotions. So and those are really sick and unstable women, in my opinion. So not all of them will do that. You know what I mean? That will have to be a very low percentage, by the way. And if anybody would try to say it's like a high number, I will have to disagree on that. The Go ahead, Miss
Go ahead.
Fawn.
No, I said I almost think sometimes because we've thought about being equality, sometimes or before, and the thing is, for me, is I think a lot of people they just feel like if they tell their friends and family, they won't understand, and then they'll do the thing where they'll say, oh, well, which one do they like more, and it's like it's turned into a competition, and you're explaining to your mom, that that you're with a person, they have another partner, and your mom's telling you, oh, you're worth more than that, and you're like, oh, I know, I just in this relationship, and it's hard to explain your place on it. And I think a lot of people get nervous and they get stressed, and they're like, well, I don't even want to deal with that. I'd rather just do this secret stuff. To me, I don't see it, but that's just because I feel like as a grown person, I live my life and no one else is living it with me but the people I'm with every day. And most people in America don't spend every day with their families. That's not a normal thing. You see them on the weekend, maybe here or there, but they're not living your life. When you get sick, they're not the one taking care of you. It's usually your partner. So at the end of the day, what they want you to do with your life and what makes you happy really shouldn't matter. So I'm too grown for it to bother me. I don't care. So, I didn't say everyone agrees with me, my family side, but they're respectful. And that's all I can ask is for you to respect me in my space, and that's it. We don't have to argue about, anything ridiculous, but we can just know we respect each other and move forward. So I think that is really a lot for some women. Because the taboo of a man trying to have two women is a real big thing. And I can see that's a hard conversation to have with family, with fathers, with mothers, and explaining that. I do see that.
I think when it comes, to be honest with you, I think that would be a father's dream for a son to be messing around with multiple women.
But would it be a dream if it was your daughter?
Well, that would be a different story. That would be the nightmare for a father. So there are some biases to that. I will definitely say that because flat out, any woman that's messing with multiple men, automatically they're gonna consider you to be a hoe. Without even the bother to really understand, where you're coming from.
Right.
But for a man, it's like, well, it's biblical and blah blah blah. So, but these are those wasn't like normal people. These kings
Right.
was like the equivalent to like high value men who actually have the stats of money, like everything that most men will wish they could be, and most women will love to be with. So,
And that's a sexual bias too. Oh, well, that's a little bit. You
mhm,
said it's like it depends on who it is, because yeah, as a man, you're supposed to provide, right, quote unquote. So then, in a man situation, yeah, you need to be in a position to take care of those many wives or whatever you want. But if it's a woman's position, you just have to be able to be, I think, I don't want to say submissive, but or in a place where you're in that woman place, but you're able to
mhm,
give that energy to more than one man.
yeah,
So you still have to do that. That if that makes sense, you still have to if you were still in the same roles, traditional roles, you still have to do that traditional, service. It's just more than one person. Um, so that's how I feel when it's with myself. It's like I have to be very open to my feminine side, I suppose. And I don't even think I'm that feminine.
mm,
I'll be very honest with you. I feel like I'm not that traditional, but every man I've talked to said they think I'm very submissive. I don't think that, but I don't know. Uh, but the way that I just feel like I just be fair. I'm a fair person. I know that sounds. I just do to you what I would like you to do to me. That's about it. I mean, that's about it.
I mean, fair enough. I think most people will find it to be exotic. So,
Gonna use that word. We're going with that today.
I mean, hey, you are a one of a kind. So, most people will probably use that term. I look. I know you and Lady E don't like that, but hey, uh, it is what it is. Okay.
I'm so exotic that I'm from the corn. It's so exotic out here, you guys. Exotic place,
Yeah.
that's
I
where I'm
mean,
at.
you do live in a unique lifestyle where most women won't even have like the tits to really open themselves up that way. You don't have no
I'll give.
balls, so I can't say that.
Oh, I mean, I'll give you that. I'll give
Yeah,
you that. Okay.
but I mean, honestly, Miss Polly though, like to be honest with you, it's not even like the poly lifestyle that most people will be into when they meet you. It's more about your personality. Believe it or
I
not,
agree. I agree,
you,
actually.
you, you know you have the type of charm where it's like, okay, you're easy to really talk to. So I mean, look, I
They
know I
fall
haven't
in.
met you. I know I haven't met you in person, so maybe in person you might be a little bit different. Hopefully not. Hopefully not
I'm a
weird
little.
in person. You
I'm a
know,
little weird.
okay, but hopefully not weird in a boring type of way in person. You know,
Okay.
but but the thing is that like okay, like as long as it's just you and you just continue to, open up and carry that same type of energy in your conversations, that's what people are more drawn into. Like, okay,
I believe.
she's not like hard. I would say she doesn't have a hard exterior. She doesn't try to strike back whenever I make a mistake in a conversation. So
There's no need for
yeah,
that.
you just have that mature type of sense, that vibe. So I think
Appreciate
that's
it.
what most people like the most, which it brought us up. Whoa, I'm hearing the echo now.
What?
Yeah, I'm hearing echo from your.
This is all your fault. I don't know why.
Oh, my fault.
Okay.
Okay, is it working now?
I don't
No.
know.
Oh no, I still hear myself.
We were doing so good.
I know, right? That's okay. What I'm just gonna do, I'm going. Yeah, that's right. Just mute yourself, and then I'll just continue talking. But I lost a little bit of my train of thought as I was probably overly praising you a little bit too much anyway. So probably my computer scent radar was kind of kicking in, and it was like, oh no, 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 we gotta cut this beta stuff out, right? But look, um, the point is that just continue to be you because it makes it easy for most women like you to like get into certain relationships. As a matter of fact, which is funny because a lot of women be single, they don't have a man. Some will be complaining too much about men. Meanwhile, you have multiple men, and you could probably get some more if you really want to. Damn, that's really interesting. What you got to say about that, Miss Polly?
Okay, so I will say, yes. I'll say I do get, I do get approached by folks. You know what I'm saying? So, like the man that I've been talking to out of country, I think the reason why I kind of chose to really focus on him now and just kind of focus on him as a partner, a potential partner, it's just because I'm in a different place too. Like I'm in the place where like I'm really serious about finding serious partners. And sometimes I think because of my personality and like that, and I understand the transition between monogamy to poly, or the idea that you get to, kind of feel your way through that. I've done that already with two partners I've been with for a very long time. And if I want to add any more, it would be I want that person to really want to be serious about it. So the vetting process would probably be quite a bit again, which I'm fine with. And so I think sometimes people come into conversation with me about it thinking that, oh, let me try it. And that kind of it's cool that you chose to talk to me, but sometimes I have to tell them to think about it. Like, do you want to try poly or do you want to try to talk to me? And that's two separate things. So we first got to figure out if you're just trying to see what poly is about or if you really just like me. And I think some men are just quick to say, I just want to talk to you, and they either, let one or the other. It's like it's kind of messed up. They'll be like, oh, I want to try poly, but since you're so nice, I want to try it with you because you're not going to be mean to me. No. Okay. I don't want to be the test run for every person. No. And then also, like, if it's the other way, well, yeah, I kind of like you, but I don't like poly. So, like, I kind of sometimes have to fight that battle. So, I do think it's interesting that I do have more opportunity to talk to men. And I actually think being in a poly mindset as a woman with listen, I'm gonna give you a little thing, women. I'm gonna put this out there. I know you guys, a lot of women are saying, oh, there's not a lot of men out here, blah, 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 right? Okay. But with the amount of men right now who said they want certain women, and let's cut out all the BS. If you want a man nowadays and you became polyandry and you did it the right way through the steps in the process, like I said, I am a life coach. You want to talk to me about it, we can do it. But if you go through the right process, you will have a whole big pool of men to actually talk to. You actually will. If you work on yourself and, trying to work on good relationship, skills and things like that, I will tell you, I think I have a bigger pool than women who are in their mid-20s. And I'm not saying I'm the most cutest. I'm not in the most shape. I have children, all that stuff. I'm saying because of a lot of women just saying no to everyone and everything. And there's a lot of men out here who would actually be like, well, you're a nice person, and yeah, you may not have everything that I was looking for, but it's a possibility that I could give that a shot and just see what this is like. They've made the pool for people who are poly actually bigger, to be honest. I don't know how you feel about that. I'll let you talk.
So you said they made the pool for poly bigger? Hmm. I had to think about that part real quick. But no, I think in some degree, like you are right when you was mentioning that you may have a higher chance of getting someone, especially like in poly lifestyle, as opposed to someone like who's younger but single. Um, you know, it the reason why I had to let it marinate because here's the thing, right? I have to kind of recentralize my thinking because a lot of times we're always taught that younger women have more of a higher chance because of their fertility. Um, some people, old geezers, want to groom them to be the way how they want them to be, but they're not really mature enough, in my opinion. And I don't want to build a woman up, you know what I mean, to my liking. I already want the woman to already be right enough, have her experience, because I mean, with over time, like with age, like you don't know how they're gonna turn out, but still, um, I think people put too much on it, like younger women, and I get it, that because of looks and less wrinkles and you know the upkeep or whatever, like that's fine and all, but to be honest with you, like I don't really have a desire to be a man that's almost gonna be 39, like later on this year, looking for like an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old. So I don't know. I think I'm struggle streaming real quick. It says my connection's unstable.
Oh, well, I mean, you're okay on my side.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, like, even me, like my age bracket is like I had to change it like last year because I was talking to some 28-year-olds. Mm, 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 mm. I had to lift up the number. I think I'm about a 30. A 30 is that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Younger than that, they're just not, they haven't gone through the experiences that I'm at. Like, I'm about to have an 18-year-old and you're like 28. I'm like, yeah. Like, not gonna work for me. No. Yeah. A 30 I could do. That's it. A 30 and he had to be very mature, and like the gentleman I'm actually talking to, he actually is 30. But he has like a whole he's in a different country, different culture where 30 is kind of older. And he's like, I want children, I want blah blah blah. So like he's in a different mindset focus where here, if you're like 28, you're still kind of maybe having fun and you just got out of college like 4 years ago. What's possible? So it's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
No, no, I feel you. You're what, 36? Okay, okay. Make sure you're rocking the cradle. Um, but yeah, it's nothing wrong with. Yeah, I think with around the 30 range, that's pretty much acceptable. I could dig that part. Um, my preference, maybe at least like 34, 36, something like that. You know, I mean, 30 is still cool. Don't get me wrong. Um, but if you're 40 and up, like I would not mind otherwise, as long as you still have a little bit youthful up in your years. So I think what it is overall is more of like the mentality and the way how you carry yourself and the way how you take care of yourself. Carry and take care of.
And I'll say like I'll say like for me and you, okay, and even like Miss Nebraska, and I'm gonna I always talk about people talking about weight on women and all that. The only thing I will say about that is even we just know Americans usually are overweight. Usually, that just a good portion of us are over the amount we're really supposed to be in general. But other than that, a lot of times I will say women that around my age or whatever. I mean, I don't think they're like a 20-year-old, but I do definitely say like they look good. They look good for their ages. I don't understand if you just let yourself go, you're sloppy, you look like an ice cream cone from Dairy Queen and you don't care and you eat your French fries and it's falling all over your shirt. No, 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 no. That has nothing to do with even men. That's just women. Like I wouldn't want to go to lunch with you and you got crumbs falling all in your chest and you're licking sauce off your shirt and you don't care about anything about how you look and even girls who even like sometimes you'll say they think they're cute. They took a bath, all that. But like I said, you wearing a crop top, but you look like a whole Dairy Queen cone. That's not gonna work. I don't want your stomach hanging off and we actually see that. It's not necessary. I'm not, and it's not even about, they say fat shaming. It's not really even about that. It's just about that to anybody. You're not in the most physical fit place. And then you cannot tell somebody that looks appealing. That doesn't look appealing. It just doesn't. I don't know what you want me to say. That's just like saying garbage looks good. If it's garbage, it's garbage, and you can't dress it up to make it look better. It is what it is. So I don't think it can't even. I've seen beautiful plus size women, and they wear clothes that look nice on them. It's not really about that. Know your body type. When you put something on, know if you can wear certain things, and that's it. It's really kind of that simple. Nobody wants to, be eating and seeing side boob or on a letter H for like no reason. No one wants. I don't know, M3. You look like you may want to see that. I don't know. I don't want to see that when I'm at Red Lobster. I'm good. I can pass.
Oh, I forgot I was muted, but yeah. Yeah, it is important, right, to make sure like you stay in your best physical shape. Look, I'm not gonna lie, okay, I do need to lose. I think I probably need to lose like at least 30 more pounds, at least. All right, I don't like having a dad bod or whatever, but I know life happens, but hey, if I lose like a cool out 30 pounds or whatever, shrink up my little gut, I think I'll be okay. But yeah, realistically, hey, look, nobody should try to pretend that being like, a gluttonous is okay. Being fat is not okay, in my own opinion. Okay. Especially especially like, imagine you have like the itsy bitsy spider arms or whatever. But everything else is like huge. How's that attractive? Like the same thing. Like imagine like your booty is in front of you. You know what I mean? You know like those type of women when they have like those double butt cheeks. One and don't forget about the V wop, right? The V shaped booty. So yeah, man, it is important to try to get into like your best shape as much as possible. And if you can't, if the gut thing is a little bit hard to try to lose, try to style as much as you can, or try to look the part where it's like it's fitting into your lifestyle. Start wearing those tight clothes. It's a wrap. Look like Michigan's tires.
Wait a second. Not that much time. No, you're right. But I'm just saying, yeah, like I'm a plus size person and I do like to wear particular clothes, but like I know that some of this I could, it ain't for everybody. I'm aware. I'm very aware of it. But there are some things I know that because I was actually very, very stickish before, like just in general. So I don't want to be that small, but I do know that just being physically fit is just a good thing. Like I can feel it now. I'm not even, the oldest person in the world, but I can tell with the weight on me I'm hurt. And nobody can say that having extra weight on you is fun, exciting, and I feel great. And I hate when people say that who are like, oh, I'm really healthy and blah blah. I'm like, ma'am, if you go to the doctor, okay, he can tell you that the tests are not showing that you're in immediate danger right this moment. But everyone knows the fact that your body's carrying this extra weight is not good for your heart or anything else. And you can feel the difference because if you lost 10 pounds, you would feel it. You would feel it. And it's just unrealistic for people to pretend that they don't know that. I'm not talking about getting rid of your double chin. And I'm talking about when you have 20, 30 pounds over the weight, when your BMI is really high, that's just, it just don't feel good. And that's what, wait, let me ask you something. There was a TikTok that I've been seeing like all this week. And it's like, oh, these women for Africa, whatever. They're like on a beach or something. And they have really, really like giant thighs and behind. And they're walking. They're very, very plus size. They're, super plus size women. And everybody was taking videos and like, oh, look how big their butts are. And I was thinking to myself, why are we saying elephantitis is exciting? Because if your body is extremely small at the top and extremely big in legs or something like that, that is a health condition. Okay? That is not sexy. Okay? I don't know what word that is. And half men, if y'all try to even put your hand around women like that, that's not working. I have some concerns. That's not glorified health conditions. That's concerning to me. But I'm not making fun of anyone who's big. I'm just saying, like, those things those aren't healthy, attractive things. They're just not. I don't know what world that, I'm not saying you got to have abs, but I'm saying when you're to the point, okay, and this is why I'm saying this, because I've been with someone who's bigger. I like big guys. I don't mind them. But when I started seeing my partner at the time have sleep apnea and I saw his throat cave in because he can't breathe, these are things that happen when you're overweight. That's not attractive to think one day I could wake up and you could be dead. I don't see anything sexy about that. Or if you have an overweight wife, one day she may not be able to take a shower by herself, or she can't fit through the door. These are not attractive things, regardless of what people are saying. Oh, let me view. That's not healthy. It's not attractive, and it's actually scary. So anyway, that's a whole other topic. We're gonna, but go ahead and say what you guys say.
I was like, no, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, look, we have to do our part to like at least get into like an active type of lifestyle. Here's what I will say, right? If you are going to be big, okay, if your destination is to be a plus size model or whoever, a plus size person, I would just advise this: get as bulky as you can, so you can have the muscle to pretty much withstand the weight that you carry. You know what I mean? If you big but yet your arms are solid, your legs are solid or whatever, I'll be a little bit okay with that. Even like the biggest bodybuilders have health conditions because your body can't really withstand, the heart can't really withstand all that weight. And muscle adds more weight as opposed to fat. You know what I mean? But at least with the muscle that you carry, you pack on, you can at least do something active. So that's the way how I'll also look at it as well too, though. You're muted.
I didn't push it hard enough. I'm so gentle fingered. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. But yeah, I definitely had, like I said, I definitely had a great time talking to Andre. I hope everybody, checks out that interview. Good conversation, good tips about partners. He actually was telling me about one of his good friends who, he's like, it's almost like she's a partner. So, like, just because you become monogamous after lifestyles or after poly, and you decide to be with one partner, you know, if you're naturally poly in your mind, the idea of relationships is just so much different than someone who is in that traditional mindset of monogamy, because even your relationships, you feel like it's very fluid, it's very flowy and nice, and it's not like you're violating boundaries. So you're very respectful of your partner's feelings when it comes to certain things, and as long as you're having conversation about them and you're taking action, like if your partner says, hey, that makes me feel uncomfortable, and you kind of work that out and find out why they feel uncomfortable or blah blah blah. There's a process to that, and then you guys can start building trust and all those things, and then continue on your journey. And he obviously found someone who also doesn't feel threatened by anything. She trusts him, and that takes time to build with people, and you gotta prove it to them sometimes. So it's really lovely to see that people who, even when they become monogamous afterwards, they can still have these wonderful relationships with other people. And it's just really nice. I wish other people who are monogamous, who decide to isolate after they become married or whatever, the ones who do that, sometimes I feel like they just miss out on all the wonderful people in the world. And I'm just being in general. There are some women who are very jealous, they want their partner, or some men who are very, very jealous, they don't want their partner really being with anyone else or enjoying anything else with anybody else. And I feel like it's unfortunate that they can't have those experiences still, and still just respect their boundaries of their partners, and still have that connection with others. I just feel like sometimes those people miss out on great things. But it's just one day at a time. Maybe they'll figure it out. I'm not sure. And it'll be nice. So I do hope so. Okay, mute myself. You can talk.
No, most definitely, Miss Polly. One step at a time. That's all I have to say for this one. Well, look, I know it's getting late. We did our time, but Miss Polly, thank you again for another wonderful conversation, and I am definitely looking forward to 5B. Like come up soon. So in the meantime, I definitely need to get to work on these thumbnails and get things rolling out. I think according to the algorithm for like YouTube, they say like okay, Tuesdays is usually like the best times around like I think one p.m. I think that's where you get like the most high traffic. Today is Wednesday, so I don't know how Thursday is looking like, but I would definitely have to check on that part too though, because I want to make sure that when we do have like our audience, I can't remember where to go so I can look for like the hours of time. I think the audience should be. Let me check real quick. Many of your viewers. Oh, okay, hold on. Many of your viewers are on YouTube. All right, so if I get this rolling out by, I will say by 12 p.m. or 1, then we should be good. Or maybe probably no. Actually, I'll take that back. I would start rolling Fairy Manny. Okay, hold on. Oh, Manny. Okay. So Sunday. Okay, Sundays is usually when it's up there. This is what I'll do for Thursday. I'll have it roll out by tomorrow, and I'll probably have it scheduled by. I will probably say like 10 a.m. my time, which would be 12 o'clock your time. So yeah. But other than that, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next conversation with Polly. So, thank you for your time.
Sure.
And make sure I hit the outro. So give me about a minute. You know how it is when you're trying to find and navigate this stuff. But yeah, but if anything, everybody, uh, tune into like Poly by Nations on Miss Poly side. Just go to YouTube, type in Miss Poly right, and you'll find her YouTube channel. Also, you'll find the rest of the episodes. Anything that starts from 1A to 4A, you'll see that. Look for 5A come up soon. Um, Anything on the B side, like from 1 to 5B, you'll find it here on Knowledge and Relationships. So, we do, cross things over with the Pi by Nations, but definitely stay tuned to that. You do not want to miss it. So, and again, shout outs to Andre from Andre and Andreas, crossing the borders. Well, love beyond the borders. You know, um, you can find love anywhere. It don't have to be in the United States. It could be anywhere you go. Just make sure that you look for love for the right reasons. That being said, peace. Outro.